Immediately after she received her prize for second place, she passed out. Gas shot through the gym as Ivy Morales, 16, collapsed on the stage. The clink of her silver medal echoed off the walls. Students screamed. A junior tried to help, but Ivy's body seized, eyes rolled back, foam pooling at the corners of her mouth. Someone dialed 911. A coach knelt beside her, yelling her name. The principal grabbed the microphone and tried to calm the crowd. The award ceremony descended into chaos. And just beyond the curtain, behind the rows of folding chairs, Mr. Nolan Verger, the school's beloved chemistry teacher of 18 years, watched with an expression no one noticed. Blank. Tight-jawed. Still. 2 hours earlier, the annual Mill Creek High Science Fair was in full swing. The gymnasium buzzed with teenage ambition and baking soda volcanoes. Ivy Morales had stunned the judges with her project on chemical absorption in plant cells. Her table was meticulous. Her results flawless. She was the clear favorite to win, until a last-minute change placed her in second. Still, she smiled and accepted the medal. The applause was loud. The cameras flashed. But 10 steps off the stage, she collapsed. The hospital and a strange discovery. At St. Mary's ER, doctors fought to stabilize Ivy. Her parents stood outside the room, frantic. She was placed into a medically induced coma while toxicology ran its course. The initial results were puzzling. Ivy had been poisoned, but not with anything common. No street drugs. No food allergy. No pills. She had been exposed to potassium chloride, the exact compound used in lethal injections. A highly concentrated dose had caused her heart to nearly stop. It had likely been ingested. Police immediately locked down the gym, treating it as a contamination scene. But how could a student, at a school event, ingest a precise dose of a death row chemical? Investigators reviewed photos and video footage from the event. Ivy had held a green soda can most of the day, a Mountain Dew, common among teenagers. One of the judges recalled seeing her sip from it during the awards. When crime scene techs tested the can found in the trash near her booth, the results were chilling: potassium chloride residue inside the lip. She hadn't drunk at all, just enough to collapse before finishing. But the can wasn't her own. Her best friend Layla Jennings told officers that Ivy had left her drink unattended before the awards. When she came back, she picked up the wrong one that looked identical. That can had been placed there. The idea that another student had tried to murder Ivy sent shockwaves through the school. Tensions exploded. Rumors flooded social media. Was it jealousy? A prank gone wrong? Then something strange happened. Another student, Lucas Drake, who had placed third, was rushed to the hospital 2 days later with mild symptoms: dizziness, vomiting, and chest pain. He hadn't passed out, but doctors found trace amounts of potassium-based compounds in his bloodstream. It hadn't been a full dose, but it was enough to send a clear message. Someone was targeting top science fair competitors. Detectives began focusing on rival students, especially those who didn't win. One freshman, Eli Cook, had been overheard muttering, "This thing is rigged anyway," and had stormed off after the awards. His parents confirmed he had access to his grandfather's old farm lab. He became suspect number 1. But while searching Eli's backpack at school, officers found nothing. His home had no potassium chloride. And he had a verifiable alibi the day Ivy's drink was tampered with. He was with the janitor setting up chairs, caught on camera. The theory crumbled. And quietly, behind the scenes, someone was erasing files on a school computer. Weeks passed. Ivy slowly recovered, but she couldn't remember who gave her the drink. Lucas returned to school shaken. Teachers were on edge. The school board considered canceling all future science fairs. Then a forensic IT tech discovered something. During a check of school computer usage, they found deleted lab records had been accessed from Mr. Nolan Verger's chemistry lab. Specifically, a purchase order for potassium chloride dated just 4 months earlier. The order had been scrubbed from inventory. Security camera footage showed Mr. Verger carrying a case labeled "Science Supplies," into his lab the same week the chemical had arrived. It wasn't illegal, but it raised questions, especially since he was head judge of the science fair. The deeper they dug, the more Verger's veneer cracked. Former students described him as brilliant but erratic. Several said he had a fixation with Ivy, praising her work, critiquing her rivals, and hinting she was his intellectual heir. When she didn't place first, he allegedly lost it behind the curtain. One student overheard him shouting in the storage room, "They gave first to a joke of a project!" But what finally broke the case wasn't emotion. It was a glove. A discarded latex glove found behind the gym's bleachers. Tested and matched with both Ivy's saliva and potassium chloride, also had a partial fingerprint. It matched Mr. Verger. Police arrested Nolan Verger in his classroom on a Wednesday morning. His reaction was ice cold. He didn't resist. He simply looked at the officer and said, "She should have won." In interviews, Verger admitted he had spiked the drink, not intending to kill her, he claimed, but to wake people up to how corrupt and subjective academic judgment had become. He had poisoned Lucas as well, but with a lighter dose. To prove a point. His point cost him everything. He was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder, tampering with evidence, and possession of a controlled chemical compound with intent to harm. He was denied bail and later sentenced to 27 years in prison. Ivy Morales recovered fully but transferred schools. She never returned to science competitions. Lucas also dropped out of the STEM program, citing trauma and anxiety. The school district implemented stricter security on lab materials, banned solo judging panels, and required multiple chaperones during events. And every year since, a new student whispers, "You know what happened at Mill Creek, right?" As the shadow of the science fair poisoner lingers in every hallway. Even trusted professionals can abuse their position. Never consume unsealed food or drinks you didn't prepare yourself, especially in high-stakes environments.